It's always interesting to discover what character audiences most associate with Nathan Fillion, as the actor has lent his talents to so many distinct and beloved TV characters. Whether they're swashbuckling heroes or fledgling newbies trying to make their mark on the world, Fillion manages to disappear into every role he takes on, even though he's such a familiar face within the TV landscape. Nathan Fillion's best TV shows aren't just memorable because he's part of the cast, though this is part of what we love about them. However, Fillion has proven himself to be capable of picking projects that stand the test of time, changing their genres, and remaining part of the cultural conversation for years to come, even if they were short-lived. 7. Alton West. The Recruit, 2022-2025. Netflix's short-lived espionage drama, The Recruit, stars Noah Centineo as Owen Hendricks, a lawyer for the CIA who gets caught up in conspiracies, blackmail, and a lot more field work than he bargained for. Fillion plays Alton West, the director of the CIA, introduced at the end of The Recruit Season 1, who quickly becomes an important character as the show's second season unfolds. Though Fillion was part of the formula that made The Recruit Season 2 an even more successful season of TV, it sadly will be the last of the series. The unresolved storylines following The Recruit's cancellation will plague fans for years to come, but it's lucky that Fillion was able to join the cast and help the thriller show before it ended. The relationship between Owen and Alton is contentious throughout The Recruit Season 2, which adds tension and stakes the series needed to draw the audience into the story. It would have been fun to see how this dynamic between the two characters evolved as The Recruit progressed, but the scenes that they do have together will be remembered for a long time by fans and critics. Rain or Shine. Modern Family, 2009-2020. Fillion plays the older love interest of Haley, Sarah Hyland, in Modern Family Season 8. Though their romance is ultimately short-lived and played for laughs, it's fun to see Fillion flex his comedic muscles in the series. His character, Rain or Shine, is a weatherman whom Haley and Phil, Ty Burrell, meet, and immediately connects with Haley over their mutual vanity. Modern Family is a show that relies on the inherent humor and complexities of non-traditional relationships and family structures, and Haley is often pushing boundaries alongside the rest of her family. However, it's clear from the start of the romance between Raina and Haley that it isn't going to be something that lasts. While their relationship isn't long, it's a fun addition to the later seasons of the series, and Fillion disappears into the role of Raina, even though he's a recognizable guest star. Unfortunately, it's tough to ignore the age gap between Haley and Raina while they're dating, even if the actors have great comedic chemistry. Caleb. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, 1997-2003. The only problem with Fillion's character, Caleb, in Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 7, is that he's on the show for such a short amount of time. His backstory as the overpowered and chilling villain in the fantasy series' final season remains ambiguous, but this only serves to further his position as an imposing and mysterious figure with untold abilities. Buffy, Sarah Michelle Gellar, faces some of her biggest challenges in Buffy Season 7, and it takes her a long time to defeat Caleb, who is the physical envoy and foot soldier of the First Evil. Their fight scenes are some of the best of the season, and it's incredibly satisfying when Buffy finally takes him down, setting her on a path to victory against the First. As Fillion's career progressed, he would rarely take on such distinctly villainous characters, as most audiences now associate him with his heroic and charming characters. However, watching him on Buffy the Vampire Slayer demonstrates his range as a performer, and it's fun to see a young Fillion make his mark on such an iconic show. John Nolan. The Rookie, 2018-present. Not long after Fillion's first crime procedural TV show, Castle, ended, he joined the cast of The Rookie, a show that required him to take on a very different type of character. While Fillion got to be confident and suave in Castle, he has a lot to learn in The Rookie as John Nolan, the oldest new recruit in the lapped John, who is underestimated and forced out of his comfort zone at every turn, makes for a compelling hero. The Rookie is well aware that everyone likes to root for the underdog, and seeing John prove everyone wrong and rise through the ranks of the department keeps us coming back to the show. As The Rookie Season 8 approaches, it will be exciting to see where John's character arc is heading, as he's one of the best protagonists in the crime procedural genre right now. When it comes to more formulaic series like The Rookie, it's vital that the cast is anchored by a performer like Fillion, who brings depth, humor, and complexity to the story. Gary West. Santa Clarita Diet, 2017-2019. It takes a great actor to play a disembodied head and still be one of the best characters on the show. Netflix's underrated horror comedy, Santa Clarita Diet, stars Drew Barrymore and Timothy Olyphant as a pair of married real estate agents, Shalia and Joel. Their lives get a little more violent and complicated after Shalia becomes a zombie with an appetite for human flesh. Before he becomes an undead head, Fillion's character, Gary West, is a rival of Shalia and Joel, who pushes the couple far enough to end up getting eaten by Shalia. However, luckily for the audience, his brain survives, and the protagonists keep him in their basement, bringing him in as a part of their work and secret murders to curb Shalia's hunger. Though Gary begins the series as a villain, ensuring that the audience doesn't feel bad when he gets eaten, he changes a lot after becoming undead. Fillion doesn't have the most screen time in Santa Clarita Diet, but every time he appears, it's memorable. His work on Santa Clarita Diet makes an excellent case for letting Fillion play more morally ambiguous or downright evil characters in the future. Rick Castle. Castle, 2009–2016. Castle relies heavily on the chemistry between Fillion and his co-star, Stana Katic, in Castle, a classic crime procedural with a fun, literary twist. Fillion's character, Rick Castle, is the author of murder mystery novels who becomes a consultant for the NYPD, where he meets the no-nonsense detective, Kate Beckett. Of course, their relationship develops significantly as Castle progresses. Castle often tackles murders and dramatic plot points, but it leans more into lighter territory throughout its run instead of getting bogged down by the tragedy of its subject matter. This is perfectly suited to Fillion's style of acting, as he has natural comedic timing that brings some levity to the plots of Castle. Additionally, he's able to communicate Rick's character development successfully throughout the show, demonstrating how far he has come as a person through his work with the NYPD and his relationship with Kate. Though Castle isn't as groundbreaking as some of Fillion's early work, it's a strong and beloved procedural series that helped Fillion branch out from the sci-fi and fantasy genres. Captain Malcolm Reynolds. Firefly, 2002–2003.